Good morning, lads. I can't think of any better way to spend a nice sunny morning than having a coffee with you guys. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're all good, thanks.
Yeah. Well, listen, we've got a bunch of, I know you're not massive on social media, either of you, but we've got a bunch of questions from Reddit. Do you know anything about Reddit?
No. Who are
Social media platforms?
I don't do that divorce book. Do you do that Facebook?
No, never had divorce.
I don't know anything about it. Anyway,
Yes,
so
you do, yeah. You're on Instagram, I've seen it.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm not.
You are. You've got a fake account.
Well, it's not me. Someone has, it's not me. Anyway, they call them Redditors. I don't know, it's someone like Beliebers or something, Justin Bieber.
Oh, right, okay.
We're too old for all that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, we've got a bunch of questions sort of about snooker, and let's get at it. First one, Ron. It's titled Farming.
Farming.
You spent time away from snooker in 2013, was it? Working on a farm. Dave Gilbert, I think, has done something similar. So the question is, how do you feel about that experience now? And do you think other sports stars could benefit from getting their hands dirty?
I just done it because I just was getting lazy and I just wanted to get up early in the morning. And I went over there. I said, I don't want to work. I said, but I'll take unpaid work, so a bit of voluntary stuff, so I can help out. And didn't want to commit too much. But the idea was I start work at 9, but it got me over to the forest because it was right by the forest that I used to run in every morning. And when I was playing snooker, I'd run every morning.
So you stayed on the farm for how long?
I've probably done about 6-7 weeks there, something like that. And
well, you didn't sleep on the farm?
No, I didn't sleep on there. No, I would have done.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I would have done.
Yeah.
Wouldn't bother me. Started at 9 and finished at 5, so it was just a bit of hard labour really. But the main thing of it was just so I can get to the forest and start running again, because I got so lazy on that year out that I didn't do any of the things that I thought I'd do because I was just so lazy.
What were you, Jim?
Then he come and won the World Championships, not playing for you. I've done a bit of community service, Al. That's about my only farming
fences,
stuff.
Weren't you, painting fences, wasn't it?
I was painting fences. Yeah, I was painting, decorating. Then I was washing up. Oh, was that
what, like, just in a...
Well, when you get community service, you have to do what the community want you to do. So one day I was painting and decorating. I said, I can't really do that because of my hands playing snooker. So then I was washing up. And then in the end, I was taking, which I enjoyed the last bit, I was taking people, you know, old age pensioners out to racing and things like that. my dad was with me on a couple of them at the end, but we, because my dad used to like a drink, when we used to take the old people back to the homes and that, you know, they sort of had too much to
they
drink.
must have, I mean, a lot of them must have known you.
Oh no, listen, honestly, it's a lot, to be fair, sometimes when I'm sitting with you when we're doing the punditry, because we're sort of, okay, I'm still playing, but, you know, we never miss a ball from where we're sitting, right? Yeah. And we see how the players get, you know, moaning and groaning, you know, and I often say, you know, a bit of community service to sort them right out because you know how lucky they are to be playing a game that they love.
I think I'd rather do community service than play snooker.
No, that's a good shout. Right, okay, next one, running. Ronnie, when do you plan to run the London Marathon?
Whoa.
Is that something?
I'd like to do it, my body's just too brittle for that. And I probably need to have a kind of less hectic life to be able to put the right amount of training in. So probably won't do a marathon, but I might do when I retire from snooker.
Jimmy, you?
No, but no, obviously I'm not a runner, but I remember Ron a few years ago, he was going to run in something, I think Gordon Ramsay, they used to have sort of who will win and who won't win. That was about 10 years ago. I think he was going to run in a half marathon in Newcastle or something.
Have been, yeah.
Have you done a few halves marathons?
I've done one. Didn't do a really good time because I've never really trained for it. But yeah, no, I like the more shorter stuff like 5 miles, 6 miles, 5k. I just don't have time to run that long, really.
What about you, Al? Do you do any running?
No, I used to, but I got that sciatic nerve.
Oh, wow.
I would call it slow jogging. I got a sciatic nerve thing, so, you know, like pressing the spine by pounding.
You're more on the roller skates, isn't you?
Yeah, I used to. Yeah, I played ice hockey.
Good. Yeah, I see you skate.
You know,
oh, really? You played ice hockey? Wow.
Yeah,
amazing.
I love the skating. That's my favourite thing.
Yeah, I see you.
It's brilliant for because you go side to side. It's good for the legs.
Yeah, your quads and all that. Yeah.
It's really, really good. I'd love to do. I used to go up the reservoir with the inline skates and I miss it, you know. It was brilliant.
Get them out, get the skates out, man.
Yeah, maybe do that, yeah. Right, okay, next one. This is from...
Just go skating on ice if you're flying.
Come on now. No,
yeah,
smash it.
The funny thing with that is people, and rightly you'd say that, but...
It's different.
Yeah, because figure skates are different from hockey blades.
Yeah.
Anyway, next one. From much appreciated, with an 8 at the anyway. Ronnie once said, Lionel Messi is the greatest of all time. It doesn't matter if he hasn't won the World Cup. That was before he did win it in 22. How important are titles when discussing who is the greatest ever in any sport?
I think you're always going to have two camps, people that are just obsessed with numbers and figures, and then you're going to have the other camp that just love to watch someone play a sport brilliantly well and just love watching them, like people like Federer and Messi, you know. So I think if you can please both camps, you've shut them up and you've kept them happy.
Well, that's a good point.
I think that's the only way you can do it, because like if you haven't got the titles but you play great, he's not the greatest. So you know you kind of, I get both camps, but the idea is if you can do like
be good at winning and look good while you're doing it.
Yeah. Then you've sort of gone, keep them sort of content, and these are always for your fans anyway. You know,
it's not easy to keep these people.
But for me, I think it's more about the legacy you leave. You know, like the way you play. You know, for me, it's just watching Messi play football. I'm not bothered that he's picking up. I just want to watch what he does and how he goes about it. And for me, that's entertainment, isn't it? It's like, makes me feel happy when I watch him play football. I get excited.
I think, you're always going to get the people, you know, and they talk about football teams and, you know, individual sports, golfers and all that. I think it's, you know, the best do have all the titles anyway. They wouldn't be the best, but obviously you've got entertainers.
Federer didn't. Now he's like way behind Djokovic, and it's like, who would you say was the greatest tennis?
Well, yeah.
For me, I'd love to watch Federer all day. Like I love Djokovic, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
But he hasn't got the titles now, so it's like.
There's one sorry, Ron, before I forget. A golfer, we're all like the golf. Monty. Didn't win a major, but he won like 7 Order Americans.
He was biggest earner, wasn't he, for like 12 years on the trot, you know, and he never won a major.
Golfer, but he just lacked that something, didn't he? I don't know. Just couldn't get over the line.
He finished runner-up 5 or 6 times. Didn't get it done. So.
Yeah.
Well, you got, you know, Ballesteros. You know, for me, talk about tennis. McEnroe started off for me with tennis because he was different how he played. He didn't win as much as Sampras and people like that. But Federer, you know, you watch Federer play, the difference between him and Djokovic, he was always positioned. It looked easy for Federer. It looked, you know,
it was like a ballet dancer the way
it was just poetry. It was magic
thing, wasn't it?
Like him.
So absolutely, yeah. Okay, next one. This is from Nandor 1262. It's entitled "Advancing the Game." What do you guys make of the recent changes in the sport? Golden ball, shootout, for example. But the point is, does snooker need to adapt like cricket 2020, all that stuff? Or can we? I don't know.
I think...
To the modern...
I think with the best of 7 they do it because you don't have an interval, and that works well for TV. But I think if you go any shorter than that, the game is going to get... For me, it's going to get too tight where people are not going to go for anything because, you know, every frame is like so important if it goes best of 5s. But I think best of 7 is the shortest it can go for me. I think once you start doing that, it becomes a complete lottery.
Because we've got 15 reds every frame, which we need, obviously, to have a proper frame. It's one or best of 3 would be too
Well,
short,
2020 worked for cricket. It made cricket huge again, but I don't know if it'll work for snooker. That's my opinion.
Any thoughts on that? It's a difficult one, isn't it, with our game? Because
I don't know, what's 2020? Do they have like selected players? Do they have
you can play it
exciting
basically
players,
in
don't
about
they?
3.5, 4 hours. So
they have exciting players, don't they?
So, it's almost like a game of baseball, time-wise.
I think it's more of a show. It depends. If you want to go down the route we got, it's like just purists. People can't play, watch snooker. But if you want to go down the excitement route, like NFL, where they make a bit of a show out of it, American football, it's a bit more of a show, isn't it? So like the fans go to watch 2020 just to have a good night. The music's playing, you take the kids, you take the family. But would you take your kids to shootout where they're getting absolutely smashed on beer. Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think that.
It's not a very good example.
Well, yeah.
Geezers standing there.
No.
Or just, you know, I think you said, yeah, it depends where you want to kind of present your sport, you know. I think. Really.
Did you see the last World Championship darts? Did you watch it?
I watched bits of it.
Yeah, I watched bits of it. Especially this new kid, he should have won. But did you see the guys whistling when people were on doubles?
Oh, really?
Whistling. Yeah, you must have seen that. You seen that, Josh?
I don't know.
Is that a betting
No, what a liberty, maybe, yeah. And he actually, the world champion who got through, he was playing in, straight after he was playing a Premier League darts thing, which is packed, by the way. The audience go just for the drink, I think, you know, because they're only watching the screen, they can't see it. It's a TV sport for me. But there was whistling when they was on doubles, you know, like, and their security guards are trying to find them in the crowd to throw them out, and they just move. You know, you can't have that. Snooker's got a little bit of class,
a little bit of class in it, yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate the skill.
So the next one, lads, is from Car Wreck with a K. Anyway, which players would be your favourite adversaries from your younger years as a player? Did anyone put the fear of God into you back then as a kid, or, you know?
Me or you?
Go on, you.
Well, for me, because of my style of play, because I was quite open, you know, knowing that I had to play Davis over a long session, you know, it was like, the thought of it was like hard work. And because he was so good, to beat him, I had to sort of, you know, play at top level, because Davis was sort of the most consistent player. So I wouldn't put the fear of God at me, but I just knew you had your day's work cut out.
Ron?
I think Hendry and Higgins used to play like amazing snooker sometimes, you know, and I used to, you know, being on the receiving end, there's a few drubbings, you know, like 8-0 sessions where you thought, I ain't had a shot here, you know what I mean? And that can kind of like think, well, I'm not sure I want to play that geezer next week, you know. So them two really have given me my biggest punishments over the years, if you like.
Okay, cool. Next one we have, let's see. I think you've been asked this a few times, Ronnie, but it's aimed at both of you, actually. Would you consider mentoring a young player? And if so, which player in particular do you think would benefit from your advice? Jimmy?
Well, Ying Tong, for me, Ronnie's done a little bit with him. You know, he's probably, when he's on it, shall we say, he's probably, besides him, the best ball striker I've seen. You know, so natural, you know, and...
he's banned right now, unfortunately, but
yeah,
he'll be back.
I think he's back. I think he's got to go to Q School. Is it this year or next year? I think it's this year, isn't it? I'm not sure, but, you know, there's... Okay, he's got a very sort of placid personality. You know, you'd have to see, I was sort of... Hendry used to say I was too soft myself, which I was, really, because I didn't really ever play snooker for... I never thought I was going to do it for a living, and all of a sudden I started doing it for a living. You know, the game fascinated me. But I think with Ying Tong, I think you could, you know, he's the most special player I've seen. If someone, you know, to work with someone, I'd enjoy working with him.
Ron?
Yeah, I think, working with Ying Tong was great, you know, because I thought he's got this talent. I just was getting confused why he wasn't so, you know, getting the odd bad result. And I watched him practice, and I just realised it was just simple little things. But once you told him, like, if you try, like, look at this and that, he just picked it up so quick.
Oh, he was a sponge, was he?
Oh, he picked it up so quick, and that's what good play, you know, really talented players do. So I enjoyed seeing him, sort of like what you know, how I showed him what I thought was the right way to play certain shots. And
it strikes me that obviously we talk quite a lot in studio, and as far as you thinking or talking about it or teaching it or explaining it, it wouldn't be more showing him shots, it would be more...
No, it was just, you know, it was just sometimes positional play, you know, he was missing balls. I'm thinking, he's missed that ball, but it's the 2 or 3 shots before, and it was just sort of like, I was just trying to tighten up his cue ball and just say, look, why are you playing there? You can just play into that area and watch where the white comes. And it was just giving himself more options and more margin for error to kind of be on the next ball.
Did he quickly realise that he was making silly mistakes and thought?
Well, it's not. We don't always. The reason why we make these mistakes is because we're under pressure, and sometimes if you're putting yourself under pressure, you're going to miss a ball. And under competition, that's when the pressure comes out. And I was just trying to explain to him that, you know, if you're losing position, and you know, it's not that ball. You're creating anxiety in the body, you know. And I was just trying to sort of make him, you know, less panicky, you know, with taking on riskier shots when it was unnecessary. You know?
I think, yeah, I absolutely agree. I think as well, with someone like you, Tom, with so much talent, he's confused a little bit because he thinks that, you know, he can do things, which he can, better than anybody else, you know, but he doesn't need to do that. So Ron would explain to him an easier route. So what he was talking about 3 shots prior, where he's played the wrong shot and he's playing catch-up all the time, and he could have gone an easier route. But the natural talent, it confuses him, I think.